So I have here some phosphoric acid, and I have here one knife that I just finished forging, and it's ready for grinding, and one knife that I've hardened and is ready for final sanding. So we're going to descale them in phosphoric acid. See how well this works. So it's a 85% phosphoric acid solution. I added about 50% water, so maybe 45% phosphoric acid, and let's see what it does. Tends to take a little while. See if I can place them in there that they get the most exposure or whatever. What's good about phosphoric acid is it works pretty damn well with removing forge scale, but it doesn't harm the metal. It does tend to patina them a little bit, or what it really appears to do is take the slag and just kind of spread it evenly across the exposed metal bits. It wipes off extremely easy, so I guess it wouldn't be useful as a I don't know, a patinaing method or something like that. I don't know, but after you pull it out of the acid, you got to neutralize the acid very well, because I read somewhere or saw a video that the phosphoric acid tends to help protect the metal from future rust, but yeah, that's bullshit. I pulled one out of the acid a few days ago, my first test, and just rinsed it off and set it on the counter and come back half an hour later and it was pretty rusty. So yeah, you got to neutralize the acid. So it's slowly starting to bubble. Have here my green scratch pad. This is the heat treated one. Now I did quench it in oil, so it's probably that thin coat of oil on it that's still on it might hinder the acid's ability to work properly. So we'll give it a little scrub. It's turning pretty nasty black. Actually, I think I'd want to rinse that crap off so I don't contaminate my acid too bad, but came pretty clean already. Yeah. So I've ruined a lot of belts by trying to just sand off that forge scale, and it doesn't come off easy, and it really chews up your belts because it's harder than your sanding belts. And so what I'm trying to do is forge in a manner that I get less forge scale. And the trick I have found by watching some YouTube videos is to continue forging as it gets to a black heat, and just try to hit the high spots and even it out, and it'll push the forge scale off kind of on its own. So at least, if nothing else, then the last 2 or 3 heats and just go to a very dull red, and then very lightly just plenish the high spots away, and it'll help eliminate a lot of that forge scale and make less of a problem when you're trying to do your final grind. Yeah, now the acid's really getting in there good. So I'll throw another scuffer up again. It's coming pretty nice and clean. And so with this one, as with many of my knives, I like to leave at least a little bit of the forging, the hammer marks and or the forge scale marks, indentations on the blade, because, well, it is a forged blade, and so that way people can see it, and it gives it just, I don't know, a little bit of artistic value. I think it looks really cool. It looks a little bit rustic. Yeah, it kind of maybe a little bit says to people that yeah, whatever, to more skilled knife makers, when they look at that forge scaling on the knife, or the hammer marks and whatnot, if they're not placed properly, and it just looks like hammered dog shit or whatever, yeah, it kind of says something about your knife making skill, that you're not all that great yet. But if you do it properly and put it in the right spots and it's even, it adds a really nice look to the knives. And so I am no professional bladesmith by any means. Well, crap. Oh, the reflection on the water was playing tricks with my eyes, I thought. But I'm really try to make my knives, when they're finished, look as professional as possible. Everything that you see on a knife, more or less, you should see it because that's what you want people to see, not because well, it was too deep, you couldn't get that out, or that was a mistake, or whatever happens. Anything that you see in art in general, especially with knife making, you should see it because you want to see it, not because it's something that you just couldn't handle or couldn't get rid of or whatever. Lack of skill. That's the end goal. Same with all forms of art. Because I was a professional airbrush artist for a few years, and I am still a professional tattoo artist full-time until the knife making brings enough money in that I can do that full-time. That would be awful nice, but not quite there yet. So anyway, all forms of art, number one point is you see what people see, what you want them to see. If you see something that you don't want people to see, then, well, you need to fix it. You did that wrong. Still a thick bit there. But it's coming along quite nicely. You can see that. Yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. There's this little bit here still that I want to get rid of, but that was from before the heat treat. But let's get rid of her. Yeah, So I'm going to let these soak for a little while, and I'll come back and continue filming. So, handle scales and or knife scales to the blades, however you word that. So you can't see this, but the one that's freshly forged, it is off gassing like crazy. It looks pretty neat. So let's see what kind of effect we had on that. It's now been soaking in there for, I don't know, 20 minutes. Well, it's not all off yet, but looking pretty good. I wonder what would happen if I didn't reduce it at all. Just went at it pure. Probably worked pretty well. Alright, so far after 30 minutes, a large portion of the forge scale is off. I must say my forging doesn't look horrible so far. For me, anyway. Smidge lopsided. Anyway. Smidge. Lots of room for improvement. Did I get that off? Oh, I got it. Looks like it's coming off. So, pretty clean. There's some little tiny spots still, but it's okay. I think I'm going to call it good. Really like how this one's coming out. Now I'll fine sand the cutting edge and get it in the oven for tempering. We're good to go, man. Cool. Let the other one continue for a little while and I'll hit that up real good. But most important step, can't forget, to neutralize that acid completely. So I have here some basically some Windex with a whole lot of baking soda in it, and neutralize all that really well. Yep. Looks nice. I'll take it home, throw it in the oven. Okay. The other one, I'm gonna let it sit there a while. See if I can't get the rest of that off. Coming along well. Do something else for a little while. Anyway, hit you back up in a few.